Back again. I gotta relocate. You feel me? That's a clean ass backdrop. Nah, damn. I put this bitch over here too. You can barely hear me. I got all these. Anyways, I'm pretty sure people can hear me. Alright. I should look whack as fuck and everything. I hope people can hear me, man. Cause I don't want to talk and people not hear me or nothing. I'm not doing a video for nothing. But that's not why I came up here to even stunt in the first place. So, echo. Damn. Echoing and shit. I mean, people can still hear me. That cops called on me like 3 or 4 times right now. I mean, by now. So I realized I need to just stay out the way and I need to grow up myself because my hood mentality is like making me like pro-black, like super pro-black. And with my hood mentality, it kind of leaves me without the mental stability of being unified. Not mental stability. It's a mental stability, but I didn't want to get that complex. It left me without the understanding of being completely unified with everybody and every being around the world. And throughout the universe as well, of course. And of course, being a nigga, we come from, a status of loving all beings in the first place. But hooded nigga was a nigga of Christianity. He was a hero and a savior, just like the Jedi's were with their hoods, and the priests and priestess with their hoods. They just use like black magic and alchemy to fight their fights. This is where you get the hooded beings were like I wouldn't entirely say this is where it originated from, but I do know that niggas did this as well. And it's just a part of what we did, but we didn't. What I'm trying to say is that these ain't the same hood niggas, and I was kind of without that knowledge. That's what I'm trying to say. And just I realize that I always have a lot to say, and I got to make sure I say it all. And not say it all. I make sure I get what I'm trying to say. And the aliens got onto me about that. Would just get to the point, But the aliens was checking each other too because they had a court that they all had to go through too because they all had to be they all learned from their life experiences as well. So I was just going through the same thing. I had to learn too. You know, I had teachers and groups that I had to follow, and the aliens were teaching me. And some of them were absolutely right about what they were talking about, but then they were absolutely wrong with what they were talking about. It was as if they were teaching me in like an ancient old guru jigsaw puzzle way. So I was still getting experience of how my ancestors knew all these teachings, but they were still teaching me in a very hard, a very with a lot of tough love. made me go back and forth, torturing me with different words, questions, bringing this teaching over to another guru's teaching, just to contradict one guru, but just to find out that these contradictions weren't contradictions. They were just based upon my own perception of what I believe is a contradiction between their teachings, but they really align and or were just completely different in the way they taught. They were just teaching the same thing in their own way. So they taught me, that we all have a story that we abide by, and you know, just because even if you, just because you even perceive, just because you perceive something a certain way as an answer, doesn't necessarily mean it's the definite truth. What really matters is the facts. That's what really matters is what's standing there as facts. Everybody learns different, everybody's taught different, taught differently. So I'm kind of stuck in the road right now when it comes to like black men going to school. Everybody learns differently, and it seems like black men are some of the most creative people on the planet Earth. And always have been, but like I said, all ethnicities are different. Everybody abides by their own frequency. But it seems like niggas don't even want to go to school, but these niggas are so intelligent. They so influential and so artistic. It's like, why wouldn't you just run a gamut on the whole thing? But that leads me to like my other point. I have a definitive point, and I'm putting my neck out here on the line just by putting out these videos. But I have no other reason. But that's kind of a cop out, and also a stance in my own way, because I'm about, like, my element is thunder. I don't even want to use that all the time, but I'm a clear sounding person. I'm completely honest. My sign is Sagittarius, and I'm all about honesty. So my strategy, ever since birth, my strategy has always been transparency through the truth. So everything that ever comes out of my mouth straight up is nothing but the truth that I've learned. If there's anything that I learned, if there's anything that I ever learned, I always made sure I went back and told everybody, oh, this is really what this means. Oh, this is really what this is. This is really what this is. I always went back and told everybody that, because I never, it wasn't the aspect that I wanted to be wrong. I never wanted people to know wrong about something either I said that I believe was factual, because people trust my word, or I wanted people to know the truth so bad because I believed it would benefit them, and it will benefit them if it is the all-aspiring truth. So finding out about these aliens is hard to get people. It's hard to convince people that I met aliens. It's hard to convince people that I know the truth about alchemy and the harmonics of music in the universe. It's hard to convince people about you know about their ancestral. That's what I'm talking about. All of a sudden I get on the computer. I ain't been outside to even know, but all of a sudden I get on the computer and motherfuckers want to drift past my ass and shit. But it's hard to convince people about, what they would say about the age of consent, or just, and it's not even on that real. It's like, it's hard to convince people how important sex overall for all people is and has always been. It's hard to convince people that we are in a time. I had somebody come. I don't know what's going on. There's always some shit. This is like, I'm from the South, so this shit don't ever happen. In California, niggas got tweakers, drug users, drug dealers. I don't want to call anybody weirdos or nothing, but they got all types of crazy people out here. In the South, niggas don't play that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just really weird to me because I don't know why. It's just the West Coast is like the most gangsterous places. But I believe when it was really like gangland, they didn't like tolerate any of this shit. That's why they got so many politics out here. But when all that shit failed, it seemed like these niggas just came out the womb everywhere, just straight out the sewers and just flooded the block. You can't get away from these type of things. South, I'm just not used to it.
Thank you.
Nah.
No weed?
It's calamine.
I'm just curious. Are you like streaming? Or are you recording or what?
This is a blog?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I got a little like
Oh, I don't know if you're gonna get anything out of it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's calamine, cloves, raspberry leaves, dried ginger,
Alright, I'm gonna show
and sage.
your vlog my dog.
Okay, the dog's cute.
Yeah, she loves people.
Alright.
Thank you, Blake. What's
I
your name?
appreciate it. My name's Ronald.
Nice to meet you. Have a good one.
Nice to meet you as well. That's cool. Now, what was that? So, this all equals up to, let me get my, what I said about young men overall just going to school. And, you know, the possibilities of everybody's ambitions and prowess through their elements in which everybody is capable of doing. It's called, they call it anonymity, and this ranges from, this originates from, this word originates from the term Adam, from Adam and Eve, and this term originates from cosmology and your astrology, your geographical astrology to nature, your anatomy, which constantly elevates, which they would call your ambition. This is where you also get the term amplitude and amps from like sound systems, to make things louder, to extend your expressions, your antimonities as a human, as a being, period. Now I'm not gonna read off of this, but I want you all to, you know, scratch my ass, but got people around me. But I want people to hear and understand why I added all those things up to what I was trying to say. This also correlates, right before I said they told me to get to the point, as always. This also correlates with people like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Tupac, everybody that came before us. You know, so this is another video for you if you're trying to make a difference and you've seen such things happen to our leaders. They weren't only our leaders, they were everybody's leaders, and they tried to make the world a better place. I know there's other leaders that we can name and we can get into depth with, but that's just a plain, you know, that's a simple template that everybody can get. So right before I get into what you would call this and what you need to do, here's a prime example of who inside you need to be. You need to be an animal again. You need to be primal. You need to reach back down inside of your being, and you need to learn how to intellectually be instinctually aligned and inclined to be the apex alpha and omega, male and female, female and male, as one being in this reality. And through that, I mean you need to be that tiger that's still a tiger in the jungle, and ain't nobody fucking with this nigga because they know how he get down. They know you ever mess with him, he gonna see you later, you know, or he gonna pick you up right then and there. You need to be, you know, no offense, because I'm all about equality, but you need to be some of these white people. You know what I'm saying? You need to be motherfuckers out there making strawberry shortcakes and passing laws to put half of our asses in jail. You know what I'm saying? Smiling in your face, happy that you came in the other day, but they voted for Trump ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? But they don't get it, you know, and it's a humanoid standpoint, and I'll get back to that though. You know, but you got to go in. That's a bad example because they're not all the way in their animalistic nature because they're not acting according to it. They are in that way, in a way, but not fully to it, or they wouldn't do it. And I'll explain why that is so, and it'll trip you out what I tell you on that part. But you need to be an eagle soaring through the mountains, and you see a rabbit, and a rabbit with the big ass ears, hearing eagles' feathers flap in the wind, and basically, I heard your ass like I, you be the rabbit, and you hear him change directions in the wind, and you just you dip out on him. Like you use your instincts, and you already prepared to dig those holes. You already prepared those holes just in case the eagle came around, and that eagle already got a backup plan, or you know what I'm saying. This, you know, that's not a full on great example, but it's a great example just in nature. You gotta be, man. You gotta be, man. I don't. You gotta be a, I don't know. You gotta be a shape shifting octopus. You gotta be a silent electric eel. Like you gotta be a praying mantis, a leaf bug or something. Like you know, you gotta be one of those lying in waiting, jumping toads that stand on the lily pad all day. You gotta be a Komodo dragon that's just waiting for his chance to just seek your venom into one of these wildebeests or something. Like you have to be your primal self again. Because if you out here, I'm just being completely honest with you, you out here on videos and YouTube like me. Now I don't even have that many views to begin off with, so it's not really a payoff. But I assure you that I've met aliens before. This is the only reason why I'm making videos, because I have so much knowledge that I need and I have to. It's a necessity. It's 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 almost pivotal that I put these videos out, either just in case something happens to me, or somebody out there actually need this knowledge, and I'm in a whole entire realm of just beyond it. Just this whole huge universal entity that we're living in on planet Earth in throughout the universe. And I put this online, and people that actually had no clue about real knowledge has now just heard it from my page. You know, whether or not I have this knowledge and I keep it with me and then I do something with it and I, save people, what's the odds of that, you know, versus me putting this knowledge out there, and even if I pass, it'll still be on a platform for people to discover. All I got to do is tag it up. And one day people will know the complete truth because I really did meet aliens. I did do my research, and I can differentiate from heart, from spot on, real and the fake. I may not see, some camouflage alien versus predators behind me or something like that, but I can break it down to a science, and I can tell you what's up until I create the technology or somebody else does or something. I can just tell you the real through my transparency. And what this all, and it's crazy because the aliens, they gave me my power to telekinetic sexual activity. But the second step to you just being bright through your research and actually going on that path of celestial road, what they call it, for people to actually care so much that they want to know the truth. The second step is actually being, I think they call it. It's not called being evasive, but this is my point, and also their graduated point to people that either earned it or they congratulated them on being so. It was like these things they're like reward points for the aliens, but they were usually for only this standard was okay. Now this standard was for people who pretty much perfected their telekinetic powers, so they could like do they can do some crazy shit around you, and they would be so inept with their telekinesis that you would never realize that you just said what you said, you did what you did, or somebody did certain things around you because they did that. They're able to do that MIB flash banger thing, to make you like erase your memory, or they can stop time with their brain, or they can go super fast with their telekinesis and make you look at other stuff just by using electricity in the air, or, stuff like that. And that shit hurt. But whew. But what they called this, and what I'm trying to say, this is your most this is like being above being one with yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep putting out these videos so people really hear all this knowledge that I got. But this is like really being one with yourself, and it's called being savvy. Being a savage, being savvy. This is the difference between one lion getting slaughtered by like a different pride land, from a lion using the environment around him and being well endowed in the environment that he's in, along with how well he's prepared himself throughout his lifetime, thus overcoming crowds of pride lands and then becoming their leader in a righteous way. Now, you can still be savvy in various ways, but to become one with yourself, you have to have a purpose. You are not one unless you have a purpose to your own life. And then you have to evolve and advance on this purpose for a better commitment, for a better commitment that applies ultimately to yourself and your loved ones. So there's no way. So there's no way that you could be evil and believe that all your ducks are in a row, that you have a list in which will not come back and bite you in the behind later. Okay? Because you being this way causes physically, from based off of physics, science, you are creating backlash for yourself automatically because you didn't choose to go the right way. That's just putting it simply. I mean, that's simply putting it. You know what I'm saying? Eventually it's gonna catch up to you, and that's just the way it is. Everything that you cross is now got a whiff of your frequency or who you are, and it's always gonna be on your tail until the end of time. Now, you being above that, you having a mission on your shoulders, and you being above, you have a mission on your shoulders, and you commit yourself to a higher standard, and you are in like a hostile environment like this, just know that you need to be savvy. That means shut the F up in your videos, in your rap videos, in your YouTube videos. That means you open your eyes and you open your ears. You read, you find out the game, you figure out the game, you watch the people that's doing what they're doing, you read up on people's backgrounds, you get your morality and your ethics, your code of ethics straight, so you don't have to worry about random knockoffs. That way you can see everybody in the row, and if somebody so happen to hit you, then you got to keep going. Like you gotta be reborn again because you had a good heart. And if you so happen to die, you don't die in vain. You know what I'm saying? You know you was on the right track, and now you can be an angel for somebody. And one day you'll be reborn from your frequency because we appreciated your life. You know what I'm saying? We all will resonate with that. Never go out into the universe, and you will be reborn. But you got to be. At least you eliminate like 95% of any possibility of anybody else hitting you up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Probably 90 if you like black people, because we got to worry about systemic discrimination and shit. Institutionalization and programming. But it's a black person on every commercial nowadays in 2019. Shit, I'm tired of looking at niggas. But this is called savvy. This also means, saying that we unapologetic is completely okay, and it's great being representative in groups, certain groups of people of all kinds can continue to do that. That's completely fine. That's great, but we need to take on a more of a role of unity instead of being so offensive as a way of defense. Start using our intellect, being more savvy, and using our unity that we've gained over the time to our advantage, which we do doing marketing and advertisement, and it works. You know what I'm saying? But we up here talking about rah rah rah. We this and that, and we on the power younger. Like this, then we lack civility and morale, and that's kind of what it looks like, but it also shows that you have pride and you being honorable and you being natural. That's great. But as long as it includes like motivation, which it does include motivation, but like enlightened motivation to all people, including the people that we're talking to. You know what I'm saying? Which that does, capitalize on all realms of that, but there's no it's like there's no progressive. It's like it's not a progressive stance, rather than it's just uh 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 uh, 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 uh like a step in the light, instead of it instead of the statement actually be instead of the statement actually admitting like progress within the system that's oppressing it. You know what I'm saying? So being unapologetic is great, but where does being unapologetic stand in its progression in us having to be unapologetic? You know what I'm saying? It's not saying nothing against it. I will wear a shirt because I feel you, but I'm from the hood, and that's all I need to say. Niggas from the hood, we sag, and that's unapologetic. You know what I'm saying? But I'll wear like a Spike Lee shirt or something, like, and it'll be like, do the right thing, and I'm talking to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I have a backpack on. I'm like, I'm going to school and on some real, I'm just, that's not, completely up there. But you got to, still see that you got to talk to everybody instead of always having the middle finger up. You know what I'm saying? That's why even, saying Black Panthers and Black Power is like, we get you, but it's all about unity, and that's what the Black Panthers were really about, and that's what we get on the backside and the backhand, because everybody didn't know or doesn't know how uh, gravitational the Black Panthers were for all communities. That's because they wanted everybody to proceed. So, I forgot about another point, but me forgetting about another point just made me remember. Oh, okay, just to close that out. So just being savvy. Being savvy is like shutting up in the corporate room. It's being that fake ass black dude that's really hood as shit, that really knows the truth about the truth. I wish I was in your position, that really could go up in these science labs or these courtrooms and lay down that slab of science or whatever, and be like, this is that and this and that and this and that. If y'all say this and that and this and that and this and that, and y'all want to make the world better because of this and that and this and that and this and that, this is what needs to go on. And if y'all not with that, I'm gonna have to report this, because y'all really not trying to do what y'all saying y'all trying to do. Because every single time we trying to get something going, y'all talking about y'all ain't got the budget, or this is gonna conflict with this. But this is, the end. This is actually the end all be all. This is like infinite energy. This is all you need. It makes no sense. So somebody needs to really start talking. But you gotta understand their savviness, and you never getting in those type of positions to actually say those type of things. But you have the advantage because you are a light, and you want people to do better, and you want people to do greater things, and you are one with the universe, because the universe is speaking to you, and the universe, planet Earth is like, yo, we in trouble, y'all in trouble. You guys need to make a change for the better of all humanity and the continuation of all life. And that's what evolution is all about. And that's how you have the advantage, because that's why the universe is on your side, because of the lights, because of believe it or not, because of the unborn children and people that have passed away already. They're behind you as well. And they know the righteous thing to do. So so savviness is like, you don't even have to. You don't even have to like shut up. You don't even have to shut up. Being savvy is just using your talent. So I'm tripping on that. You don't have to shut up or nothing like that. I'm just, I was just thinking about some people, including myself, and it's is being on a YouTube channel, making fun of Sesame Street, but putting these gems in there and whatnot, while making fun of a TV show. It's like how Jordan Peele, I'm a big fan of dude. Like when he first came out, I'm fresh off Dave Chappelle and all these other black comedians and all types of stuff. And I wasn't into Jordan Peele and stuff like that because they came on Comedy Central around the same time Adult Swim came out. And I was spoiled with like great content. You know what I'm saying? So they were coming out there with corny stuff, super corny stuff. But like later on, I started to catch on, and I still didn't watch it, but everybody was talking about they was watching it, so I ain't gonna lie about that. But when this nigga started coming out with Get Out, and he came out with I think he came out with Get Out, and there was another movie he came out with, and then he came out with Us or something like that. And I started watching his skits with other dudes, and I'm like, okay, like, nigga really smart. Like, he real smart. That's savviness. Like, he ain't finna come out straight up. Neither is the other dude. Nor are they gonna come out and they gonna be like, hey, West Side, wherever you want to say. Like, they didn't come out like that. These niggas, like, literally, like, I think the other dude, like Jordan and Peele, uh, whoever got the longer face dude with the big eyes, that dude, his special, like, both of them sound like they can have MBAs, or like they really run a business, or they can have like some mean college degrees. Damn, it's about to rain. Crazy. Man, but it's crazy. But the dude with the long face, he specializes in making people laugh without himself laughing. So he might not think the joke is funny at all, but he is so smart. This is your savviness. This is your genes. This is your talents. This is how you can intellectually beat out another being. So literally, this nigga, he doesn't even he has the talent to not even laugh at jokes, but he understands humor so well that he can make a joke for you and it'll make you laugh, but it just wouldn't be funny to him regardless. But he would find joy in making you laugh, so that's what that's what he enjoys doing. Is it raining still? Yeah, so this is your savviness. This is like incredible savviness. You know, I guess. Okay, so this does line up with people just, having troubles going to school and stuff like that. But, everybody's savvy at different things. Everybody's talented in different things. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's based off of your groups or your ethnic background, or, whatever you may have, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's completely different. So we can't be in the schools, be in the same classes, growing up as children doing the same thing, so um it also means not to be, too predictable. But if you choose to be predictable, it's actually I can't even it's transcendent. It actually is beyond my explanation on what you should and should not do. Just be the best creative that you can possibly be, and this will entail you being savvy over other beings. And as long as you do it for the righteous things, you will not descend. You know what I'm saying? You will not descend, and no matter win, lose, and draw, you will always be successful. And the more in depth you are in yourself and what you try to achieve, you use your mind and you be extremely creative and be aware of your surroundings and everything that's going on around you, you will succeed. Whether you get the whole thing out of here or not, you will have a win, in some way, because they're the people that have us confined. They're their cards are limited to formal ways. No, their cards are dealt with like with formal ways of containing, people's just individuals. They try to uniform us um, in any possible way that they can, so that we can become more predictable. That's why business environments and homes, they're very professionally uniformed, so you can become completely predictable, and you have to abide by all of their rules throughout this society, and that's what else that makes you predictable. Now, when we start creating our own, and you're just out, in the streets, and you just being yourself, this is where people call you savages, because you're completely unpredictable. They cannot put you in a uniform state, and you've rejected the system. You know what I'm saying? And if you were that type of person, like Fight Club, and you were completely culturally inclined, and you were seasoned and full of color and creativity, just just imagine the type of difficulties that they would have trying to keep people on lock, or to keep a standard intel on people. That's why these organizations, like these NSAs, even if it was screened, or however people want to say that these whistleblowers type deals are staged, or any type of instance that we may think that is wrong or not. You can just look at the facts, and from here, um, I can just lead into this. So just be savvy. You know what I'm saying? If you know that they're watching your recordings, and you doing something on something else that you ain't supposed to be doing, or if they if you know that they watching your pockets, or seeing who you invest in, just know that you got people like me that you can listen to, that can get you out of those type of situations, by just saying, stay organic. If you investing in any type of company, just invest in like organic foods, invest in like herbal remedies. I always hit up the truth. I always go towards the truth. Every single time go towards the truth, just in case, because if you always shooting for the light, and you always doing the righteous thing, and you always shooting for the truth, it's always going to shine back on those people that's trying to hurt, the people that you're trying to save, which is, the planet right now. This is a time in a reality in which, the lights have to stand up against all that are going against us right now. And you have people out there that act like they don't understand, and when you become a light, and people act like they don't understand, now this is where you get the information of the word Satan. Now you have to. This is a really complex subject, but this is what I was trying to say when when I said that I have a point that'll clear up how you can find out if somebody's lying, or somebody's corrupt, even even if they're not a part of an organization, or they're trying to be racist. You have to realize how savvy and how intelligent people are, right? So in the philosophy, not the philosophy, in in the realization, in the actuality of the sciences of spirituality, the the bottom in 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 I guess I don't want to say Western civilization, but in modern day Christianity, they would call this place hell. they would call this place a fiery pit, which is crazy because your temple and your soul is a fiery place, and your crown is heaven. But you know what I'm saying? That's not where I'm going to. I shouldn't have said that, unless I would have been completely clear. But that's a part of the truth. But what I want to say is that so the the word theology, it's not a theoretic, but the word content. I hope I'm saying that right. The word content of Satanism means to understand, like Titanic, Satan. That means that is under in which you stand. That means in the darkness, I understand it here. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you're a demon or nothing like that. The actual connotation, the understanding of the word Satan is actually the understanding of something, right? And this is the origins. There we go. This is the origins of that word. All right. So when you gotta, so this is the complexity part. So in all things, I'm just saying, I'm skipping over to an example to how natural we act towards words, symbols, lights, and just ordinary instances in everyday situations. So you have let's say a judge or a cop, or I don't want to be biased and use those type of things, but let's just say somebody's being disorderly in, in society. So first of all, civilization, this is how you know we're in a different time in which programming and institutionalization has taken over and manipulated the human mind away from nature, because civilization means an ethnic community. Now they've appropriated the word ethnic to they've appropriated the word ethnic to appeal to bigotry, to appeal to people who are rich and don't care about the poor. They've confused you upon your sciences, so you don't know about your lands, and they've gotten you to believe that it's okay to kill off your children and not have sex with anybody you're in love with. You know what I'm saying? Because either you can't afford it or you think it's wrong or some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Take it how you want. But that's the truth. And this is what you would have to call this modern day civilization. Right? And you mean to tell me judges and court systems don't want to go to court any type of trial for what I just said there? They not fit to do it because, you know what I'm saying? I talked to my lawyer about that today, and she gave me a sideways answer, like, if I take that to court, I might have something. But she also didn't want to give me the answer because it sounded so clean that it made it seem like even she could be prosecuted as a bad person, just based off of morale. So all these bills are passed and all these people are being prosecuted for, the system that these courts are backing up. You can't tell me that these people are so, well, I guess I could just, I have problems getting to the point, but, luckily, I don't want to say luckily, but I just don't want to say the word luckily. Fortunately, there you go. Fortunately, I made it back to this go around, this full around, so I can make my point here. So you mean to tell me that these court systems, these people that are so professional, that argue every day on the dot, on the clock, that prosecute these lines of people daily, about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them boys, every day at 8 o'clock, every weekday at 8 o'clock, to sentences that you can't believe, and they go through trials every day, and they can't they can't come up with a solution to make our environments better, or have some, or come up with an innovative way that trumps all, so we never have to go through these instances again. Okay, so I can put this back up. So check that. So check what I just said to you, right? Check what I just said to you. Now, for us, or for anybody to go out there, right, have this science, this environmental science, this climate change science, this sexuality or sexology science, this biological science, this biotechnology science, this innovation science, this social engineering science, and you bring it straight to the courts, and for them niggas to say that they don't get it, for those people to say that they don't get it, that means Satan, right? Now you have like a churchgoer back in the day, or you go to the country today, and you have some black mothers or some old country bumpkins or whatever, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's Satan, that's nothing but the devil. That ain't nothing but the devil." See, you rewind it back. You rewind it back. Stuff you don't know. This is what you don't know. See, when you start understanding the truth, you can actually look in your mind's eye and actually realize what they were saying back then, because they use religious, scientific terminology towards psychology, science, and everything was, I don't want to say the word synonymous. That means something else. Everything was in sync with their wordplay. So when you were saying Satan, you were saying, okay, that person is a bad person, but also scientifically, psychologically, there is no possible way that you can be a human being, that you can be in this position of power in which you judge. There's no way you can be a human being in that professional position. No, one, I want you to understand, in that position, you cannot be that person in that position without that type of comprehensive understanding. Two, you cannot be a human being without a natural standard understanding of oneself, and comprehending how important it is to have certain things in your environment, because you naturally want to be self-sufficient in your natural settings. You naturally want infinity around you. You want everything natural around you for you and yours, regardless if you're a part of a secret society or not. This is how you overthrow their information, even if you don't even know who these people are. This is the part of being savvy, is knowing this type of information, because you know this type of information. Everything that you speak overthrows any conspiracy, because you can speak lights through anything that is hidden in the shadows. That's another biblical connotation right there, another biblical wordplay. You know what I'm saying? That I was not trying to do, but it does, and it aligns with what they would say in the Bible. This is the wordplay that they used back in our ancient, brother and sisterhood. And this goes for all ethnic cultures. This is another reason why I don't believe that this could have been in the hands of white people, that they could have just single-handedly did this to us, because not only were they low in numbers, but they were also a part of our nationalities. They were also a part of our nations. They shared the same realms. You know what I'm saying? The people that said that remodified Christianity were was to be said, they all came from different ethnic backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? So these weren't all white people to begin off with. You know what I'm saying? So we can't always be like this and that and this and that, this and that towards them. Even if they benefit off of it, you know what I'm saying? Which would be bad. It's another stigma on dissension. Like, you shouldn't be trying to get points, and those type of points hurt people. You know what I'm saying? You do it for your, the better of your own reality, but still be using it for good in some type of way, or we're gonna look at we're gonna look at you differently, and some people don't even care because then they can use that, so on and so forth. But damn, I forgot what I was saying. But okay. So even if you don't even know who trailing you or whatnot, knowing this information is extremely pivotal. So when people say like the judge or somebody hits you back with some press confirmation or some mail talking about, you don't deserve to be in the school, or somebody hits you back with, you know, I don't know, your dick don't work, or a girl, a guy calls a girl ugly, but he'll fuck the shit out of you, or you know what I'm saying, just to put it on those levels. But when you're dealing with court system, or you're dealing with aliens, or just this whole corporate system, and everybody acting like they broke and they can't change their ways to be more environmentally friendly, or you dealing with courts that act like they can't make laws so we can just get the hell up out of here, just completely, or aliens that think they over everybody, and you know what I'm saying, aliens is real, and they told me to be real towards them. So they said any possible chance, and if they acting in a certain way, I have the right to do that, and they taught me that too. And we just always have to be genuine towards one another. That also means that I ain't always got to be holding type of animosity towards them because they were so rough. But shout out to old girl that led me down there too. It was one chick that I followed. She was an alien girl. She was a light skinned alien girl. She was pretty cool. She was a part of an electricity clan or something, like a sound electricity clan. Like they have different tribes, like aliens have sound tribes, like how hip hop has like rap groups, and well actually, how ethnic, how all ethnic people have different types of music. That's literally the origins in which those aliens were made from us, from our music. I mean, and from no, that's how we know which aliens came from our type of frequency. I'm sorry, they originate from us, and we're going to evolve into them, maybe in a different way, seeing that they're already an evolved form of us, or a pre-devolved form of us in a way. Like it's not always by evolution and de-evolution, or up or down, or time limit in which we got to evolve. It's sometimes they're just different they're just different times in lives, and we all got stuff we need to learn from one another. It's not always about, oh, since they're at this point they know more and stuff like that. It's not like that. But check it. So even so I can keep going from here. So even as police officers, oh okay, so yeah. So but the origins of ourselves, including them, come from music. 100%. Like the reason why Chinese people got those temples and they go up and down and they choppy, that's their music. That's their music. It's not a play, it's not a ploy, it's not nothing like I'm trying to say, trying to be wishy-washy, nothing. No. You know what I'm saying? Just like how the, the bricks in Timbuktu, or um, those bulby chocolate kiss looking things in, I think, Arabia. I think Aladdin was Arabian. Yeah, that was Arabian. Um, and they got that little flute snake sound and shit. You know what I'm saying? All those things, all those things uh, are all harmonious to our environment. And as times, well, just throughout times, we always made things that resonated with our frequency. And I kind of try to jump over to the advancement of like some of our, let's just say, some of our favorite, well, some people's favorite, some people like simple and plain and just making it handmade, but, you know, a lot of people's favorites, are from the acoustic ancient, from our ancient, from our ancient ancestors, in which they use acoustics from the frequencies of their beings to actually make their architecture. You also see these type of things in Indonesia, and I think it's not the Himalayas, but I think it's Indonesia or something like that, where they have those water drop architectures coming out of the water, and all that stuff is just based off of also the city of Benin and Ghana. All those things are based off of the frequency and the harmony of that environment and those people, and that's and that's where those and that's where the aliens. That's where some of the aliens originated from. A lot of them just resonate with us, and um, it's 100% true that they could just come from a different uh, harmonious place somewhere else in the universe. You know what I'm saying? We're not the only place that got problems too, so I can't just say full on that they just all came from us and stuff. Like, nah, okay. But I did learn that as well, and that's why I was talking to the people I was talking to, because they did come from my frequency. So apologize if I did get a little ahead of myself. So just as I continue on, I just had to put that side note out there. As I continue on, so even as a police officer stepping up to you, and he dealing with things at home, and he knows that he could get a girl to have sex with him, to get out of a ticket, and he knows he can blow your head off because they gave him so much power as an underpaid police officer. It is satanic. It is it is it is satanic, not also evil, but it is an understanding in his being that he doesn't have to do shit. That he doesn't have to do a single thing. He can be a great person. He understands that. Whether whether or not this is me growing too, because I had to grow, but as a child I disciplined myself because I can hear literally this is the in-depth knowledge of oneself. Egypt, know thyself. You know that you hear me telling you literally stop eating that bullshit. That's the shit that's killing you and giving you these diseases. And everybody and everything around you have told you that, including your body. But you are choosing not to. See, before I said you are choosing not to, you are saying in your head right then and there, I know I'm supposed to stop. You are satanic. You understand you are in descent. You know that you are in descendants right now, but you are content with being satanic right now until somebody enlightens you out of that dimension, because you are what? Dealing with demons. You are dealing with a dimensionalized environment that you are having problems getting out of. This is where the alignment of language, speech, and art and science was also present in our ancient ancestral time. They were able to use every form of existence to get people of or out of their dimensionalized selves. That's why I also believe that they might have even accomplished. Actually, I'm actually really starting to believe that they've actually even accomplished evolving their beings from biotechnology, like actually evolving their humanoid self from the technology that they invented. Like literally, I believe I'm talking spiritually, everything, physically, all that. I actually believe that, and I believe they use uh, the universe, nature, along with the technology they build symmetrically with it, and put themselves smack down in the middle of a pyramid, or however, wherever they were, and they actually evolved themselves. That is extremely possible, and I actually think some of them did it. Real talk. Because you have all this type of sorcery. This ain't nothing but biotechnology. The best way to speed up and the best way to speed up what is that? The best way to speed up no, the most not speed up. That's a bad word because that's an even lazier word, trying to speed up things. It's about being diligent and being um, being a uh, being of sustenance like quality and being fulfilling, like, you know, really having color in your game. It's not always about speeding up, hurrying up, doing all that stuff. Boy, there's a plant behind shit scared the fuck out of me. But it's about really knowing your craft. That's what really matters. Not hurrying up, getting all that stuff out of there and all that stuff. It's about really knowing your craft. So just to have a point, case in point is that what would be the best solution for technology overall? If we're talking about our ancient brothers and sisters, the ones that really were on the the fro and fro, the through and through, when it came to their knowledge of nature, technology, and knowing thyself, and and the understanding of evolution through all things, mind, body, and spirit, why wouldn't these people why wouldn't these people have gotten that the best way to advance technologically is to advance with nature, with technology, through nature, to be that technology that we're trying to connect with? No, with dang it, I messed up. No, why wouldn't they get combining themselves? I just said it like I was being lazy, but that's just being straight up. Why wouldn't they get the efficiency of connecting themselves by using technology with nature, completely infusing themselves with the universe, thus evolving their whole entire being with it, so they no longer have to use technology ever again? What is a king to a god? I mean, I don't need remote controls. I don't need to flying saucers or anything like that. I can just run around here. You mean to tell me that's not possible? That's not true? You're not able to do these type of things? Look at alchemy. Look at alchemy. Look at sorcery. Look how they can create lights. If they can create lights and they can actually see the symmetry within the universe and how it applies to you, they can evolve themselves. But it has to evolve. It has to involve. See, this is where you have to stop every single living being when it comes to this type of power. Yes, you have the right to be yourself, good or evil, but Adam and Eve and being the light and evolving the evolutionary way of all life has to always apply. That means if you are a bad person, if you choose to evolve yourself, you will grow as well. And you will run into another being that is in that same spot and you probably gonna get your ass whipped. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna put you in another realm and another life cycle. And whether you jumped the whole gun or not, you were super smart, eventually you will completely cease to exist because you have to evolve and you have to grow and you have to run into another path that has to constantly evolve, and there's nothing you can do about this evolution, and that's where you will fail. And this is where they would say that's God. You know what I'm saying? That's that natural wordplay. Oh, that's God. That's God. That's science. That's the universe. You know what I'm saying? You attracted that being towards you because of your evil ways trying to stop life. You know what I'm saying? And this is symmetrical because everything has to be in harmony. And if you have things out of disharmony, this is where this truth lies in again. This even goes for the people that's behind closed doors watching, surveying people and stuff. Eventually, you're going to suffer in some type of way. This is science. This is harmonic science. This is a straightaway scientific, understanding. You out there, you miserable at Starbucks, staking out people and stuff. Like, okay, because people are smiling right now, and you trying to destroy people, and you might be getting a check or two, but what am I saying? You might be getting a check or two, but you don't understand you living a miserable life. That's a part of the irony. You know what I'm saying? That you don't know that you're going through. Irony, that's that's scientific as well. That's ironic. That's ironic. It means it's a full circle. That means it's a full circle of your entity that is becoming toxic, atomically toxic. That means your genes molecules is going through a frequency backlash from a frequency that you put out there, and energy that you put out there itself, that it emitted itself, that you made toxic. You know. So, but that means to put all this together, that just means these people are people in all things. Everything is angelic. Even the people that are doing bad, I don't want to always say that, stuff like that. But even people that are doing bad are in an angelic state. Everybody's always evolving. Everyone's always constantly learning. Everybody's constantly in the light. You know, as is as is above, so is below. You know what I'm saying? There's light above us, and there's light below us, and there's darkness above us, and the darkness below us. Now, the thing with and everything in the middle is emitted color. Everything in the middle is light and dark, and has and nothing but color, around us. We're looking at light right now. We're looking at darkness right now, all at the same time, but we're seeing all the colors. So, like you can, as I was saying, once you know the truth, you can be the light because you know absolutely the absolute truth. Like what I'm saying, you can look at a judge right now and know what I know and be like, nigga, you ain't gotta do shit, but tell this nigga what to do, where to send him, or you know what I'm saying. I don't want to show my animosity towards no official or nothing like that, but it's like these people can do a whole lot more with their powers, but that's Satanism, you know what I'm saying? But just to put it simple and plain, like you can now there's a reason. There we go. I done drifted out so much from who I used to be. It's hard for me to just say things. I even had problems back then, but now I really can't. It's hard for me to say it because I know so much now. You know what I'm saying? That's not even trying to put myself out there. It's an actuality. You know what I'm saying? So you can now look at a certain person, a certain official, a certain idea of a person, or anything, a facade. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, you used to have females acting certain ways. I know it eased up because we got Instagram. You can just fly the baddest chick out here for about 600, whatever you're trying to say, whatever it is, or something. You know, of course, the game changes completely, and we're more somber about it. And there's bad females everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But for example, now that I know the truth, just to speak on the truth term, you can even use the term like you don't use the term, but you gotta understand what I'm trying to flow with. So it's Satanism for a female to see you and not understand that she really wants your child, regardless of who you are. You know what I'm saying? She might not want to deal with you at all, but there is an infinitive attraction between the male and the female genome, and there's no running away from that. There's just lifetimes in which we appropriate to, so we're more attracted to the people we're attracted to right then and there. But eventually, you keep evolving because you're attracted to that person, so you start getting different energy. You keep attributing to that energy until you get to that level in which she will become attracted to you. She won't have to choose. A lot of women don't even choose. They just become attracted to that person. And that is completely scientific. That is not a choice. But they do understand, so I don't contradict myself. They do understand that they are completely attracted. They are completely in the known that they want that man's children. They want his sperm. No matter, now that's a hard subject to get people to really coincide with, but a woman, that's a different. This is this is this is going to have to be on a more. This is going to be on a more. This is where women's savviness comes in, right here. This is where women's savviness comes in, and this is where you can also use um, the psychological conversation savviness of Satanism, which is just plain out understanding people's psychology and biology and their science and spirits to weed out any false deceptive illusions and you just being able to see the light. You know what I'm saying? Through that Satanism, that Satanist way. So check it. So check it. A woman's main okay, before I say that, this is my point on that. My point is that we worship women as gods, which they are, but we are gods too. Men are gods just like women are. We exist because they exist. They exist because we exist, alright? Straight up. And it's always been, a duality. It has always been that way. And I'm gonna have to even correct myself when I told my family that women came first and this and that and the other, but that is kind of true, but it's not true because the man was still in the woman, so it was always a dual polarity. It was always a dual polarity with the male and female. That's why that being was self-reproductive because that man was still inside the woman, and that woman was actually a man. This is what the elephant man was. That's what you see on the atlas and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So that's where all that really aligns to. Just to correct myself if I said otherwise when it came for the nymphos and the niggas, from what I said in the previous video, so on and so forth. And stuff like that. That's where I was kind of getting confused, but that's really what I was trying to line it up to. But I be trying to give so much praise, but also tell the truth at the same time, and it's really hard to describe that part. You know what I'm saying? That women and men are actually the same beings at one time, and they split apart, and they were always attracted to one another, but it was all nymphonic. It was all a fabric. fabrication. But so just to spit that just to say that even before these social media outlets, that we always praise women a certain way because we didn't have the infinity of of nature behind us, so it was more difficult to get a woman to even feel for you a certain way because she always wanted uh oh, there we go right there, because she always wanted a suitable sustainable lifestyle for her offspring, so she will always gravitate towards people of resources, right? Okay, tell me why when I just said that statement about a woman not wanting your children, everybody had the most disgusting person they could think of in their mindset, or even thinking about themselves. But but during but even today, you'll find a person that people may even think is unattractive. Just be honestly speaking, nobody's ugly. Nobody's ugly, and nobody looks better than the other. We just have, everybody's, we just have different tastes and stuff like that. Everybody looks all right. We just also gotten into society of judging one another. If somebody's frequency is off, you continue to be a light and you continue to help people so they can reharmonize themselves. You don't have to, put them in any more dissension that they already are, that they're already in. So check in. So tell me why that same female say that she would never have that person's kids that she's seen would be the same female if that man had a valuable source of resources, would be completely on his jock. That nigga pulled up in the Lamborghini right then and there. And if she saw the type of house that nigga would have, would she have let that nigga hit? And he talking that real talk. Why is she even thinking about it? Because really, she's thinking about nobody else after that. She wants some kids. She literally wants kids, and you saying that you gonna take care of old girl for the rest of her life, and she good? Shit. Now, if she's more attracted to and she's more homed into who she is, of course, she's gonna be more attracted to whoever she may feel inside. Not saying that that person's not true to themselves. I'm just saying that there's other people, there's other women being savvy, not saying savvy as in they're being a cop out or getting away or anything like that. They're just more honed into who they are. I mean, they're also honed into who they are, and they're choosing a different route other than just playing off resources. I'm not talking about like ghetto chick from the hood or a bougie chick or anything. I'm just talking about anybody that run into a nigga that got some resources and they just want some kids and they just want to be straight and they tripping. You know what I'm saying? Even those homesome females that not looking for money will be the same females that's looking at certain other dudes that may look a certain way to certain other people, but they're so homesome and they care so much about social interaction that they actually care about a person's heart. So then there you go. That person's pocket no longer matters anymore. She's actually attributing to his social his social um his social interaction. And she might even marry dude. She might even do the whole thing with him. So where in the world, in alignment, in the reality, does this man, from just thinking from a standpoint outside of this society in which people judge people based upon what they do or how they look or the money they have in their pocket, does this man exist without multiple suited women by his side if he had the infinity of nature behind him? I'm telling you, that man that everybody was thinking about, or those men, or homeless dudes, and whatever, all these people that they're talking about will be completely well off and will have just as many children as well as the women that were saying were naysayers as everybody else. Their foundation, no matter how you put it, you can people people deal upon these quick interviews on TV shows, these 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 status updates that's just quick witted singular experiences stuck in these stigmas, or people that are or people accredited people that speak a certain way, and instead of just really being completely open and broad-minded and actually understanding the complete foundation of all. Even I had this problem and I had to grow, but I've grown and I am still growing and I'm passing on the knowledge. Your foundation is to have as many children as possible and experience as many lifetimes as you possibly can in this universe until you pass on. And you live on through the children and lifetimes that you shared through all those people, those lifetimes, those children that you shared, and those people that you connected with through sex. You actually lived another life. That's what they used to call it in our ancient ancestral times. It is so much to be said about just that right there. You know what I'm saying? It is so much to be said. Because right there, you have unity, you have togetherness, you have a refurbished society. You have, I just to put nature in there. You have just everything that you need. You have, you have so much love to go around. You have camaraderie again. You have teamwork again. You have no more shame in who you have sex with. You have no insecurities. I meant to say. I mean, you just the freedom of just loving one another and no longer looking at a person like I really not in a million years. Really, why would you even think or say that? And what exactly are you talking about? And if that person or man that you just said that to had confidence enough, he'd be like, cross his leg, like, girl, you don't even know who you're talking to. And then all of a sudden he becomes more attractive. Yo, you gotta realize the foundation in which everything that was built off, you could always, like the aliens taught me, always kick it back to the tree and it always hit you in your face. They didn't say always hit me in my face, but they said always kick it back to nature and you'll know the truth. That girl really wants your kids. Real talk. I think I said this in your interview. My interview. I said this in one of my other videos. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about me not being savvy or anything. It's just it's so much for me to tell that I have to let people know. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you can be. That's actually, but that's that's where you gotta realize people are extremely savvy. Right now, people are extremely savvy. Extremely savvy. These niggas built these cars and all this whole thing, this whole deal. People are really savvy. And they've gotten so far from their their nature that um, we're actually dealing with not a computerized version of ourselves, but a pre-calculated um, a pre-calculated natural safety mode, a pre-calculated that's not the word I'm looking for, a safety mode self. Like nobody wants to get in trouble, nobody wants to be natural, you know, nobody. It's more than just wearing their hair natural and rocking weed or starting an organic business like supernatural, like being butt ass naked and just living in nature and just what I'm saying. Like this is the stuff. I was taught, or our native people still deal with. You know what I'm saying? They still grow their own food. I mean, that's not even some people still farm. I mean, being completely natural, like being like seeing I don't know, like talking to bugs. I don't know, like being able to be so in tune with yourself that you can look at a plant and actually know what is good for it. I don't know, like being supernatural and like looking at a tree before you look at a big ass building, like you know what I'm saying? Like talking to dogs before you choose to look up how to buy a Mercedes. I don't know, like being like supernatural. You know what I'm saying? Like going to save an environment before you. I don't know. The rest is some BS. Okay, so all right, just know that that's Satanism. That when you believe that there's no possible way that can be, like judges know this stuff and they do this stuff all day and they act like they don't know that they're being discriminatory, discriminatory, discriminative towards people. That's Satanism. They understand. Women, they understand. And I ain't for the shoot nothing like that. And I'm being Satan. I mean, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because I understand. I'm just trying to spit the words, and I ain't trying to bash nobody either. I was just using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to give people courage. I ain't trying to bash nobody. So, oh, just like that guy. Oh, there you go. Just like that guy that wear condoms and all these dudes looking at your ass, and trust me, I could use that for every person that's ever using condoms or ever looked at a girl and not like grabbed her by a hand and just was like, man, I want to fuck the shit out of you. That's Satanism. You lying, you lying, and you want to fuck. Every single guy that's looking at that girl with that fat ass booty, you are going to completely get your nature, and you are part of. I don't want to say you're a part of the system. You in safety mode right now because you trying not to get in trouble for harassment or nowadays girls and women are saying this is like girls. They're like nowadays. I'm not saying like the Me Too movement. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that um, even going further back with like cleavage in the workplace or women having like professional jobs or going into the military or even as that whole deal with like selling people, you know what I'm saying? And black women were seen as super exotic, and white women were saying that this is sexual harassment. So people will like be more standoffish towards all women, and would give white women more attention because black women were so exotic. The reason why I don't believe in this whole thing about um, white women were like less than sexually than black women is that yet again it's another discrepancy in history. It's like white women weren't like not thick, in 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 on the planet at all. You know what I'm saying? We all come from Africans, right? If that's so, that means you had to have some meat on you. You know what I'm saying? If y'all came from nature as much as we did in Greenland, Ireland, Europe, Russia, man, Antarctica, wherever they want to say that they came from, but that sound about right. If that's true, you have to have some meat on your bones. You have to have the environment for the nature. You wouldn't have been able to be in existence if nature didn't have a spot for you in the first place. You know what I'm saying? To completely feed you and your society and what you will be able to accomplish by constant reproduction and evolution through your testicles and the eggs that you would have in you, which would be completely infinite. As long as you would be alive, you could have sex and as many kids as you possibly want, and nature would accommodate for that. Well, what in the world? How in the world would what I'm saying? How in the world with these women not having any meat on them? You know what I'm saying? Or any type of firmness, any type of booty, and anything. I don't see. It's another discrepancy. That's just trippy. But it also aligns with, you know, how I guess I could just motion into this subject. It would also entail that somebody, somebody in their own clan, somebody in their own group actually institutionalized these people and actually taught the white society. I said this in my other video. They had to be taught. Somebody like this is like a gym, and this is straight. This is straight like psychological fact. If you can actually trace back the criminals through the knowledge of the interpretation of people's behaviors, through the biology and the foundation, the biology of the foundation of which biology comes from. You know what I'm saying? You can't call that Satanism because those white people didn't know what they were really doing, but they were taught because they were taught and they were unknowing. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking upon people that actually know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to fuck the shit out of this badass bitch. And all these girls know that we want to fuck the hell out of them. And, you know what I'm saying? And, and they want kids and we want kids. And we just can't, and then they just pass the deli up. And and nobody has a child. And we don't get to experience it because can't nobody afford it. And nobody want to go through it. And I'm like, oh, we got to live our lives with you. And, you know what I'm saying? And then we're not in Satan anymore. We don't understand anymore because we don't know that we can intermate with one another. You know what I'm saying? We don't know that's a natural function. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny. Oh, and plus we're supposed to be in an infinite environment that provides everything for us to have children, as many children we want, as many people as we want. That's actually something people can take to court biologically and actually be like, yo, you stopping me from growing. You stopping us from being human beings. What's up? You know what I'm saying? But it's a crazy one because then they'll be like, oh, you can take this court, where's your viable evidence? Oh, you get a job. I'm like, no, I have this many sperm in my penis. This needs to go. What's going on? Government shut down. We can't do nothing about it. But this is what trips me out. If you actually look at that type of knowledge, not only that, it's like we all knew we were unified. If you really know your information, you really know your knowledge, if anybody's out of whack, or if there's any disharmony in our ethics, our ethnicities, if there's any disharmony in like black, white, green, blue, our races, if there's any harmony in that and in nature, we are all off balance. So if anybody was to get any one of our races to go against us, then they can start phase one. They can start phase one. They can get that group, go against this group, and then use the sciences. I'm not that in depth. Oh, snap. I'm still growing, so I'm not in that depth. In that in depth to actually trace that back yet. But I am still growing, as well as knowing the spectrum chart. If black people were off balance and white people were like just um, putting it in a scientific frequency basis, if white people were bad, then that means there had to be an evolutionary angelic nature in a different ethnicity. You know, that would include us, of course. But also, if black people were in dissent and in disharmony, then that energy would have to go to another ethnicity, right? So this is all science. But if those people, as those people knew that science back in the days, they would be able to turn a certain group against us, and then we would have to fall a certain way, but also elevate, because you're putting pressure on us, because all of this is science. So that means that person will have to run around and kill whatever group will receive that energy or something like that, while continue pushing these people and just move around this energy, because they would have to understand it that way, because we're all made by nature and everything's based upon harmonics, and we're all the same species. And once one of us is all balanced and one of them, somebody else is corrupt, then you can start working on us, because it's a divide and conquer deal. You know what I'm saying? Once I understand more, once you understand more, then you can pinpoint, who, what, when, and how, and you can actually trace it back through history information. Even if it come to misinformation, you can break that all apart and actually look at it for yourself, because you know the truth. That's real. Um, so check it. But this actually goes along with this. It's an hour and 40 minutes. I'm tripping. So this actually goes along with this information. So this trips me out right here. So I'm actually working on, I'm getting back into my sciences and engineering and stuff right now, right? And I'm going over what I learned from the aliens and stuff, and they told me to practice my voodoo. It's my ancient ancestral hood and stuff. And I'm doing it, and I'm working on everything. Also, your voodoo is also just your sorcery is just the pit of your soul. It's your art, it's your talents. But also they're talking about practicing the physicality of engineering the universe around you. That's also what they meant. But they were getting on to me and telling me, like I said, telling me to give up rapping and stuff like that. They're like, you don't know rapping is your voodoo too, because you influencing people's actual genes and their cells and stuff through the influences of your music, your frequency. I'm like, okay, that's dope. They're like, yeah, we want you to practice that too, though. Because that's real. So, um, so, so basically, I'm up in here creating stuff, and I'm thinking, I'm pondering. I'm like, okay, now I know this stuff. I'm back in the game, and now I know, this in-depth information. I just have to continue to grow. So I'm looking at this stuff, and I'm starting to look at everything, and I pop open the light bulb, because I'm trying to like get this light bulb to come on with these magnets and stuff, and like soil from the dirt. Like, I'm just experimenting and shit. And I realized that everything has a negative and positive. Everything that's manufactured, they have manufactured, or they're standardized, not equations, they're standardized terms, or the way they label things is negative and a positive. Okay, negative and positive. Negative is Eve, and a positive symbol is Adam. Adam and Eve, right? Okay. Now magnets have a negative and positive polarity, right? And once you direct them, and once you turn them around in which they attract to one another, they have an attraction that they cannot get away from. I mean, that they are completely attracted to. So they click automatically. Science. This is all science. This is crazy. Now I'm about to go into some real shit. So, I mean, actually, after I go through this shit right here, this is about some other slavery shit. But well, this part ain't. But so basically, I see these categories, and I'm like, yo, so negative and positive, nigga, that's Adam and that's Eve. The negative is Eve, because negative means it's not saying that it's without power. That's just the negative was symbolizes that everything is just everything. Like I was explaining the nymphos and the niggas. Okay. In Egyptology, you have is. Everything just is. And then you have Orisha, Osiris, which is I'm within I'm the color within her. I'm the formation of the color within her that goes full circle. You know, I'm what she had wished of. You know, basically, I just am inside of her. Orisha. No, not Orisha. Osiris. So it's or is. Oh, it's like or is. You know what I'm saying? Orisis. So I'm the color that is um the color. You know, I'm the actual fabrication. You know, is and Orisis. So you see this, we see Adam and Eve, and then the negative and positive polarities of magnets, and it's like, yo, so this is infinite energy right here. Right here is the negatives and positives that they always talking about, and the polarities of magnets. Oh, it's trippy. So this is where I'm about to get into. I already explained the white person thing about they had to be institutionalized because based upon how we were as a nation throughout the whole planet, our international, internation, a national nation, whatever we want to put it. There's no possible way these white people could have been the way that they were entirely throughout that whole time that we existed through the culture of that whole entire planet. It was impossible for them to even conjure up conquering us at all. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? Not saying they had lesser numbers or anything like that. It's just even they had people that were on the same page as us. That means they had to all be taught a certain way, and they had to be the ones that became corrupted within their own clans because that is not what any of us stood for at all. Not even them. Not even them. You know what I'm saying? Not even them. It's crazy. And then they come up with these background stories and talk about Constantine and Constantine that. Not trying to defend these people, but if you want to put it in investigative terms, they put Jesus Christ up there, and it makes no absolute sense that you would you would play yourself, that you would put yourself in a in a predicament that you would have to suffer from in the long term, and your complete plan is to um be gods and overrun these people into the ends of time. Like you don't plan on losing. You're not planning on, you know, throwing in the towel after, you know, a couple thousand years. You're not doing that. So why would you even put, you know, the manipulation of this information in the Bible that is completely some of the stuff is completely contradictory to itself, and so almost so lazily put in there. So it's put in there in a way that eventually one day if people grew to become conscious, they would be able to point that out. Once we grew and became intelligent once more, we'd be able to point that out again. And then they put a white Jesus up there, and our information was for all. Even and as this book was made during actually this book was made this was like no, this book was made after this age, yes. But for them to try to use that man in his image, I think even they kind of had him as they were, you know, as we were fighting, you know, during slave times, they kind of had this book up and ready too. But you have to realize how unprepared you would be if even if you had a white man in this frame, even if it wasn't a particular person, how 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 incriminating that would be once people found out what they were actually doing by using that book and manipulating people's uh, higher entities, their crowns, their belief in God to do what they wanted them to do. You know what I'm saying? That is very incriminating, and that doesn't seem completely thought out. But you also have to see the way that they so-called gained slaves and what we're taught about slavery. There's too many discrepancies. There's too many red flags in that information. These people being dumb, these people believing that they're better than anybody in a civilization, in a society that either we just came with, or that was still existed through that time with just education for all, and we were all enlightened, and it makes absolutely no sense. And for them to be that intelligent, that means they had to had well they said that. They even said that during medieval times and these people and whatnot, they even they did these they practiced these tactics on their own people. So this would kind of correlate and check out. They practiced these practices on their people, and but these people actually they said that they dumbed down these people, but maybe even they didn't understand you know what they were saying, but that's impossible. That's just impossible. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they were still these smart people, but they just didn't think out their plans all the way through. Because my point is that how in the world did they say they were kicking us off the boats into the United States? We were already here, North and South America, first of all, and they were coming from the gates of Ghana, Benin. You know what I'm saying? No, you weren't. Especially now on some boats like that, and we had Jamaica in the waters, and Haiti, and Bermuda, and all this shit, and niggas act like Africa didn't have a navy or nothing like that. We had Asia, and I don't believe it. It doesn't check out. It doesn't. It doesn't. It does not. It is. They were not that as representative. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they might have. I mean, they were. I'm not saying that anybody wasn't. I'm just saying that there's no possible way, as it is continuous proof that we constantly fought for our people and we were in constant battle ever since this has happened, and we are still at war today. You know what I'm saying? Which would show that. And it would make more sense that they just came over here and we were already here, and these niggas started building and we built with them, and they just kept it on the low and were constantly using these schools to institutionalize ourselves. And they really didn't go to Africa. They probably had some Africans here and there and stuff like that, just to use the psychosynchronism to make us believe that certain places were conquered, and they went out and did the whole deal and whatnot. But we was already here. So there's no possible way. Not saying that it just completely didn't happen, but it ain't happening, and it did not happen as they were saying there that as it happened. And we ain't boxing like that. You know what I'm saying? It seems like you know how to use your psychology. You're not institutionalized and use your psychology to make people believe certain things, while you making business move and building here, doing this and doing that, while certain other entities may be going on that we don't know of or about, because we're not informed on these things, because you're keeping them away, like you working that hard and on that face, you know what I'm saying? But as well as burning out the facts and keeping us away from our knowledge, you know, because if all this stuff was true and you really was the real deal in Holyfield, it wouldn't be a thing for you to burn or keep us away from things that you said that you burn, or you know, so on and so forth. You know, but this is why knowing the truth is so important, because now once you see everything, it's like, okay, yeah, okay, it's a white dude. It had to be you, but why would you incriminate yourself if we found out that it was actually you? And if we all came from that time, during that time, that means one, you wouldn't have been able to do these things because everybody was a lightsaber and everybody respected the universal knowledge of all. You know what I'm saying? But two, and it's still to this day, it's still a sin and it's disrespectful to not heal people if they are sick. and you ask for money, that is a sin. You know what I'm saying? So not even putting that way or anything, of that matter, but just to put it on the forefront that um what is it that even today people are fighting back, you know, to the knowledge that you should know for yourself, whoever it may be, that you are doing wrong. That means that means all across the world we're all fighting back at all times. So there's no possible way that these people, they said the Arabians started it and Caribbeans were doing it, some Asian people were doing it as well. And then, white people were doing it, and we were even told some African people were selling people and stuff like that. But there's no possible way during that time that people were being sold and savagely thrown off boats and stuff. It wasn't even cost efficient to do these type of things like they were saying they were doing. I think that's another tactic to scare us. None of these things were cost efficient. They were busting dollar bills, or however you wanted to put it. You know what I'm saying? These people practiced alchemy and they had all the resources in the world. And what would be a dollar bill, or what would be any type of gold or anything like that? Any type of currency, just for that matter. You know what I'm saying? The wordplay currency is electronic. You know what I'm saying? Is that just a wordplay to make us believe that we didn't abide by ancient Kemet? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? People that were advanced science knowledges and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And not to even, I'm not gonna cop out and say that, maybe some of them left, some of them maybe did evolve and went to another universe, or just not giving even past that, but not to even go far beyond that. But it's really crazy to actually believe that it really went down the way that it went, seeing that everybody was on the same accord with being the light and loving one another, and knowing the harmonics of the universe, and as well as loving every man, woman, and child, especially our children, being the light. And that was the universal culture around the whole planet. And all of a sudden, people start trading people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was at that time back then. So check it. So right here, you got white people, so-called white people, kicking us off the boats, calling us Adam and Eve. After everything I just explained to y'all, negative and positive, in the beginning of all life, Adam and Eve, and nymphos and the niggers, they kicking us off the boat, calling us Adam and Eve, yo. Check it. And then they start calling us niggers. Now check this out. How you calling us niggers from nymphos, from in which we originate from nymphos to be called negra, and niggers, nigers, nighters, G is silent, nyer, or I mean, it, how you calling us that and Adam and Eve after what I just explained to you? If you did not know the sciences, or nobody was teaching y'all the sciences, or it correlates and it has too many consistencies with what they said, the actual knowledge and the truth, scientific harmonic truth, straight down to the origins in which we came from ancient Kemet. That sounds like a science hub. And that's what they called us when they so-called kicked us off the boat, and we didn't know shit. We didn't fight back. And they were calling us through our sciences. And you got niggas from where? West Ghana, ancient Benin, in which ancient Egypt replicated their culture from? What? And then they said so you went through West Africa, Benin, Ghana, and captured Egypt, and everybody came back off of a boat. Nobody fought, and you kicked us off, and you called us Adam and Eve, and we didn't know what the fuck you was talking about. Shit no. And ancient command? Shit no. You serious? Check the facts. I'm not spitting to you know, oh, what's name said in historic, said nothing like that. I'm talking facts. These are straight origins. These are origins. You gotta realize Adam and Eve, what they're talking about. What is a nympho and what is a nigger? What is actual nigger? You look up who and what they called those people in the first place. And then reach back to the origins in which that came, and then what a nympho is, and then you tell me what's up. Straight up. I'm telling you. There is no possible way.